Have you ever watched yourself destroy a good thing? I don't mean by accident. I don't mean bad luck. I mean that moment where you knew exactly what you should do, and then you watched yourself do the exact opposite. You said the words that you knew would break the relationship. You put off the project until you started panicking. You trusted the person who seemed dangerous simply because they said nice things to you, and afterwards, in the quiet of 3 a.m., you stared at the ceiling and asked yourself the same terrifying question: why did I do that? Most of us believe we are the captains of our own ships. We think we are rational, logical, and in control. But we aren't. There is a stranger living inside of you, a stranger who acts on impulse, a stranger who is jealous, insecure, and irrational, a stranger who can mess up your life in a heartbeat if you don't learn to handle them. Today, we are not just reading a book. We are going to finally get control of that stranger. We are diving into The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. This is not about judging yourself. It is about understanding how your mind actually works, so you can finally stop crashing. To understand this book, you have to accept an idea that might feel a bit insulting at first. You are an animal. We wear suits. We have smartphones. We speak in complex sentences about politics and life. But underneath the surface, you are running on software that is millions of years old. Robert Greene argues that we are social animals, controlled by things we rarely see and almost never admit. We like to think we are modern, but our brains are still scanning the crowd for approval. Our nervous systems are still bracing for attacks that will never come. You see, we all make the same mistake. We think our behavior is a reaction to right now. You think you yelled at your partner because they left the dishes out. You think you got depressed because of the weather. But Greene suggests that these reactions have nothing to do with the present. They are loops. They are old patterns, childhood wounds, and biological urges playing out over and over again. The laws in this book aren't like police rules. They are closer to gravity. You can say you don't believe in gravity. You can claim it's unfair. You can try to ignore it. But if you step off a ledge, you will fall. Human nature is the same. If you don't understand the law of envy, you will be betrayed by your closest friend. If you don't understand the law of self-obsession, you will drown in your own ego. If you don't understand the law of irrationality, you will make decisions that ruin your money. Most people go through life sleepwalking. They are puppets, pulled by the strings of their emotions, reacting to everything, controlling nothing. They are the leaf in the wind. This video is about becoming the wind. It is about turning the camera around. Instead of looking out at the world and complaining about how people are crazy, we are going to look in the mirror, because the only way to master the game is to master the player. Let's begin with the foundation, the first law. Imagine you are riding a horse. You, the conscious you, are the rider. You have a map. You know where you want to go. You want to go to the gym, or finish that report, or stay calm during the argument. But the horse is your emotional nature. The horse is 10 times stronger than you. It is easily spooked. It is hungry. It is stubborn. If the horse sees a snake, it runs, no matter what the rider says. Most of us spend our lives thinking we are steering, when in reality, we are just holding on for dear life, while the horse runs wherever it wants. This is the law of irrationality. Here's the lie we tell ourselves. I am a rational person. I make decisions based on facts and logic. When I get angry, it's because the situation is annoying. Here is the truth. You are not a rational being. You are a being that makes up excuses. You feel an emotion first, anger, fear, excitement, and then your brain scrambles to find a logical reason to justify it. You don't buy the expensive car because it has good safety ratings. You buy it because it makes you feel powerful, and then you tell your wife it's about the safety ratings. You don't dislike that coworker because they are slow. You dislike them because they remind you of a bully from high school. And then you find evidence of their slowness to back it up. We are ruled by the need for comfort. We believe what feels good to believe. We ignore what is painful. True rationality isn't something you are born with. It is a muscle you have to build. It is the ability to create a gap between the feeling and the action. So, how do we train the horse? We need a system to master our emotional self. First, never make a major decision or send a sensitive message while you are emotional. If you are excited, wait. If you are angry, wait. Write the email. Write the email. Write down all your anger on the page. Do not hit send. Let the horse tire itself out. Review it the next day. You will be shocked at how different the world looks when the strong feelings in your brain have passed. Second, stop trusting your immediate feelings as truth. When a strong emotion hits you, imagine it is a pair of colored sunglasses. Tell yourself, I am not seeing reality right now. I am seeing reality through a red lens of anger. Do not believe the lens. Remind yourself, I am the observer, not the reactor. For the next month, keep a small journal. Every time you feel a sudden spike of emotion, anxiety, rage, or sudden happiness, write it down, trace it back. Did that person actually insult you, or are you low on sleep? Is your ego threatened? Stop reacting. Start investigating. Think about the last time you got into a heated argument with a partner or a family member over something small. Maybe it was about how to load the dishwasher. You were shouting. You were bringing up mistakes from 3 years ago. You felt entirely right in your anger. But an hour later, when the energy faded, you felt that sinking feeling in your stomach. It wasn't about the dishwasher. It was about your stress at work. It was about feeling unheard. But because you let the horse drive, you turned a minor frustration into a major scar in the relationship. Thinking clearly would have saved you. Emotion cost you. Now that we are observing our emotions, we have to look at how we relate to others. This brings us to the most uncomfortable law in the book, the law of narcissism. We tend to think of narcissists as monsters. We think of the arrogant CEO or the influencer obsessed with their reflection. But Greene uses a different metaphor. Think of narcissism as a scale. On the far end, you have the deep narcissist, the black hole. They suck all the energy in the room toward themselves. People are just objects to them. But on the other end, you have the healthy narcissist. The healthy narcissist has a strong sense of self, but they turn their attention outward. They radiate interest. They are the sun, not the black hole. And here is the catch. We are all on this scale. Most people think, I'm not a narcissist. I care about people. I'm a good listener. The truth is, we are all born self-obsessed. It is our default setting. From the moment you wake up, your main concern is your survival, your comfort, your opinion. When someone else is talking, are you deeply listening to them, or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Are you analyzing what they are saying, or are you judging how it affects you? The lesson here is not to kill your ego, it is to flip it inside out. Empathy is not a soft skill, it is a power tool. When you stop obsessing over how people see you and start obsessing over understanding them, you become dangerous. In a good way. How do we move from the black hole to the sun? We need a specific set of tools. Next time you are in a conversation, stop looking at your phone. Stop looking around the room. Look at the person. Watch their face closely. Imagine you are them. Feel the tension in their shoulders. Don't just listen to the words. Listen to the emotion underneath the words. Is there arrogance masking insecurity? Is there silence hiding fear? Change how you talk to yourself about difficult people. Instead of, why are they attacking me? Switch to, this person is dealing with a pain I cannot see. I'm a researcher studying a fascinating subject. This creates distance. It stops you from taking their meanness personally. Remind yourself, I am an explorer of human nature. Pick one person in your life who annoys you. Instead of avoiding them or arguing with them, make it your mission to figure out why they are that way. Ask them questions about their childhood. Validate their feelings, even if you disagree with their logic. Watch how they change. When you stop resisting them and start understanding them, their defenses will drop. We all know that manager or colleague who controls everything. They hover. They correct your typos. They drive you insane. Your instinct is to fight back. or to gossip about them. But look closer. That need for control isn't about you. It's about their deep fear of losing control. They are terrified that if one thing goes wrong, their world collapses. If you fight them, they clamp down harder. But if you try to understand, if you give them regular updates, if you reassure them that you have it handled, you feed their need for safety. Suddenly, they back off. You didn't win by fighting. You won by understanding. We have started the surgery. We have looked at the horse that drives your emotions. We have looked at the mirror that changes your connection to others, but we are only scratching the surface, because there is something deeper lurking in the basement of your mind. There is a part of you that you are actively hiding, a part of you that contains your dark energy, your hidden wants, and your untapped power. Greene calls it the shadow. And until you meet your shadow, you will never be whole. You will continue to blame your dark side on other people, calling them evil while you claim to be good. The path forward requires us to go into the dark. It requires us to stop pretending we are nice and start realizing we are capable. Are you ready to see what you've been hiding from yourself? We are standing at a door in the basement of your mind. We have already looked at the wild horse that drives your emotions and the mirror that distorts how you see other people. But now, we have to open that basement door. Most people are terrified of what is behind it. They spend their entire lives leaning their full weight against this door, trying to keep it shut. They think that if they open it, something terrible will come out. But the harder you push, the stronger it gets. This brings us to the next great law, the law of repression. Imagine a beach ball. You are in a swimming pool and you are trying to hold this big air-filled ball underwater. The ball represents your dark traits, your aggression, your greed, your intense ambition, your selfishness. You were taught as a child that these things are bad. Maybe your parents told you not to be loud. Maybe a teacher told you not to be a show-off. So, you shoved those parts of yourself down. You hid them underwater. But holding that ball underwater takes effort. It is exhausting. It drains your mental energy every single day. And the moment you get tired or stressed or have one too many drinks, your grip slips. The ball shoots up out of the water and hits you right in the face. This is why the nicest guy in the office suddenly screams at a waiter over a wrong order. This is why the most strict, moral person gets caught in a scandalous affair. The dark side doesn't go away just because you ignore it. It just waits. And while it waits, it rots. It turns from healthy power into toxic resentment. Here's the lie we tell ourselves. I am a good person. I don't have those dark thoughts. I just want everyone to be happy. Here is the truth. You are not just a nice person. You are a whole person. And being whole means you have the capacity for darkness. If you claim you are never jealous, you are lying to yourself. If you claim you never want power over others, you are blind. The most dangerous people in the world are not the ones who admit they are ambitious or tough. The most dangerous people are the ones who pretend they are saints while secretly manipulating everything behind the scenes because they cannot admit what they want. So, how do we handle a shadow without becoming a monster? We stop hiding, we start using. This is the lesson. The shadow is not your enemy. It is a gold mine of energy. Think about it. Where does your creativity come from? It comes from the wild part of you. Where does your drive to protect your family come from? It comes from your aggression. If you kill your darkness, you also kill your fire. You become flat, boring, and harmless. And as the psychologist Jordan Peterson often says, you should be a monster, and then you should learn to control it. The goal is to integrate the shadow. First, accept the beast. When you feel a surge of envy, don't say, I shouldn't feel this. Say, okay, I feel envy. What does this tell me about what I want? Envy is just a signal. It is a map. If you are jealous of a friend's success, it means you are not working hard enough on your own goals. The envy is fuel. Burn it. Second, give the shadow a job. Your aggression can be turned into drive to finish a project. Your stubbornness can be turned into grit when things get hard. Your desire for attention can be turned into leadership and public speaking. Don't be the nice guy who gets walked over. Be the dangerous person who chooses to be kind. There is a massive difference. Let's apply this. How do we do shadow work in real life? The shadow audit. For the next few weeks, notice when you have a strong negative reaction to someone else. If you see someone who's loud and confident and you feel instant hatred, stop. Why do you hate them? Usually, it is because they are showing a trait that you have repressed in yourself. You hate their loudness because you have crushed your own voice. You hate their confidence because you are starving for your own. Flip the script. Instead of judging them, ask, how can I let a little bit of that trait out in my own life? The inner reframe. Stop trying to be good. Start trying to be whole. Tell yourself, I am capable of anything, but I choose to be constructive. I own my dark side. It does not own me. Think about a time you let someone treat you poorly because you didn't want to make a scene. You smiled. You said it was fine, but inside you were boiling. You were playing out arguments in the shower where you won, and later, that anger came out sideways. Maybe you were cold to your partner for no reason. Maybe you punished yourself by eating badly. If you had tapped into your shadow, your healthy aggression, you would have set a boundary right there. You would have looked them in the eye and said no, and you would have been respected for it. Now, we need to zoom out. We have looked inside at the shadow, but we also need to look at how we see the world around us. Specifically, how we see time. This brings us to the law of short-sightedness. We are addicted to now. Our brains are wired for the jungle. In the jungle, you don't worry about 5 years from now. You worry about the tiger behind the bush. You worry about finding food for tonight. We are biological machines designed to react to what is right in front of our faces. But we don't live in the jungle anymore. We live in a world where the most important things take years to build. Most people live their lives with their nose pressed against the glass. They react to the latest news. They react to a mean comment online. They react to a sudden bill. They are always putting out fires, so they never get to build the house. The lesson is painful. You think you are busy. You think you are handling problems. But the truth is, you are just distracted. You choose the easy job because it pays well today, ignoring that it leads to a dead end in 10 years. You choose the fun night out because it feels good now, ignoring that it steals the energy you need for your morning work. You choose to win the argument with your spouse to feel righteous now, ignoring that it damages the trust for the next decade. We trade the ultimate for the immediate. To win in this modern world, you must become far-sighted. You need to develop the ability to see the end of the movie. Think of it like a mountain. Most people are down in the valley. They can only see the trees right in front of them. If a storm comes, they panic. You need to climb up to the peak. From the peak, you can see the storm coming from miles away. You can see where the river goes. You are not surprised by anything. So, how do we climb the mountain? The 10-10-10 rule. Every time you face a decision or a temptation, run it through 3 filters. How will I feel about this in 10 minutes? How will I feel about this in 10 months? How will I feel about this in 10 years? Usually, the thing that feels good in 10 minutes feels terrible in 10 years. And the thing that hurts in 10 minutes, like hitting the gym or saving money, feels amazing in 10 years. Stop asking, what do I want to do? Start asking, what does my future self need me to do? Treat your future self like a person you love. Don't leave them with a mess to clean up. The identity statement. I am the architect of my future, not the victim of my present. Imagine a young man who gets a sudden bonus at work. The short-sighted version of him buys a luxury car. He feels like a king for a month. He gets the likes on Instagram. But the car loses value. The insurance is high. The maintenance is expensive. A year later, the thrill is gone, but the bills are still there. He is stressed. He is trapped. The far-sighted version of him takes that money and invests it. He feels nothing today. He drives the same old car. It's boring. But 10 years later, that money has grown. He can quit the job he hates. He has bought his freedom. One chose the appearance of wealth. The other chose the reality of freedom. Now, we have to stop. We have covered the emotions, the ego, the shadow, the time. But none of this matters if we don't face the one thing that makes all of this urgent. We have reached the midpoint. The turning point. This is the uncomfortable truth that holds the whole book together. The law that gives all the other laws their power. You are going to die. I know. You know that factually. You know it intellectually. But you don't believe it emotionally. If you truly believed you were going to die, you wouldn't waste 3 hours a day scrolling on your phone. If you truly believed your time was limited, you wouldn't hold grudges over petty nonsense. You wouldn't stay in a job that makes you miserable. We live with a soft, fuzzy belief that we have forever. We think we will write the book someday. We think we will fix the relationship someday. We act as if time is infinite, but Greene tells us that death is the sun. You cannot look directly at it for too long, but it is the light that makes everything else visible. This is the law of death denial. Here is the twist. Death is not a tragedy. Death is a tool. Scarcity creates value. Gold is valuable because it is rare. Water is valuable in the desert because it is scarce. Your life has value precisely because it ends. If you lived forever, nothing would matter. You could always do it later, but you can't. The clock is ticking. The sand is running out of the hourglass, and you cannot put it back in. When you accept that your days are numbered, the noise fades away. Does it really matter what that stranger thinks of your shoes? No, you're dying. Does it really matter that you got rejected? No, you're dying. Does it really matter that you were tired? No, you're dying. The only thing that matters is this. Did you live fully? Did you master yourself? Did you become who you were meant to be? Breaking the denial of death is the key to true freedom. So, let's bring it all together. We have built a mirror today, a mirror that shows you the truth of who you are. We saw the horse, our irrational emotions that need a firm rider, or they will run us off a cliff. We saw the narcissist, the part of us that needs to stop looking inward at our own pain and start looking outward at others. We saw the shadow, the dark power we must accept and use to become whole instead of pretending to be nice. And we saw the clock, the ticking timer that demands we stop wasting our life on things that don't matter. This is not a system for becoming a robot. It is a system for becoming human, a real human, not a puppet pulled by strings, not a leaf in the wind. The goal of this book and the goal of this channel is to wake you up from the dream that you are rational, to wake you up from the dream that you have forever. The uncomfortable question I want to leave you with is this. If you met the person you could have been, the one who mastered their emotions, who used their shadow, who focused on the long term, would they recognize you, or would they be disappointed? You still have time to become them, but not much. Here is what I want you to do right now. Go down to the comments and answer this question. I want to see thousands of answers. Which law is holding you back the most right now? Is it the horse, your emotions, the mirror, your ego, Vipa, or the clock, your short-sightedness? Be honest. The first step to fixing it is naming it. And if you realize today that your mirror is the problem, that your need to be right is actually pushing people away, then you need to watch this video next. It explores why being right pushes people away, based on how to win friends and influence people. Click right here to learn how to drop the ego and actually connect. I'll see you there.